Lacrosse Legends. Lacrosse Legends, a comprehensive look at America's greatest game, featuring legends past, present, and future. Today, on Lacrosse Legends, we visit with lacrosse legend Paul Gait.
It's obviously a fantastic lacrosse player. There'll never be a duo like Paul and Gary. And also innovator. This engineer that created a life through the business of lacrosse. They've come up with incredible sticks for both men and women. And I know Virginia has a history of being a Gait, sponsored team. Years ago when Dom Stargent was the head coach. And so I love how Paul has, been so innovative and outside the box with so many different phases of the game of lacrosse. I never played, as I joke, I never played in a gate-free world. They were freshmen when I was a freshman. There were times I've seen videotape in 1987 when Syracuse played at Brown in our football stadium, and I'm flying out chasing number 38 and 39 as a long stick midi. Because who were these? Who's 38 and 39? And the next 3 years I knew who 19 and 22 were, as I was about 15 yards in, waiting for them to come to me. But yeah, and so it was really special to have Paul there today. His words were fantastic. So gracious and generous to others, and that's who Paul Gait is.
Paul Gait, President, Gait Lacrosse. Gait Lacrosse, synonymous with innovations, new ideas, and new products. Lacrosse Legends visited Mr. Gait at the Gait Lacrosse Headquarters in Central New York.
How you been?
I've been all right. This it's certainly been a challenging year and a half, but we're hanging in there and doing okay.
You look great, man. You look like you got your buff back on. You're looking good, man.
Yeah, I think my wife picked out the shirt based on what she likes, I guess. It must be the guns.
Okay, all right. Well, I got a list of people who wanted to say hello to you. Of course, you got Mr. Dumpson who sends his regards. Chris Panos.
Yeah.
He says hello. He said he played. He was
CP, of course.
Yeah. He's saying how great it was, an experience playing with you in Canada with the Shamrocks. And who else said hello? Vinny and Steve Sombrato.
Yeah.
Said hello.
Oh, boys.
Yeah, Stevie said that when you played, you had an arm pad or a special arm pad that was like a little harder than usual, and for the checks or something like that.
True. I made pads for a living, so of course I made a special pad for my forearm, where the D guys like to check harder, so they felt they could impact some pain on that arm. So I built a pad of super hard plastic and board on my forearm where they like to check. So that's what he's talking about.
Always innovating.
Next on Lacrosse Legends. You're watching Lacrosse Legends.
One night in the mid-1980s, my brother Paul and I met a coach who connected with us from thousands of miles away. We didn't know much about Syracuse, but we loved lacrosse and the opportunity Coach offered. We left everything we knew behind and followed him to the other side of the continent together. We had a lot to learn about Syracuse, the tradition that existed, where the program was heading.
That's it! The ball game's over! Syracuse is the new NCAA Division I champion!
We played for the love of the game and our teammates. Together we wrote the next chapter. If you didn't see him play, Paul was magic.
Paul Gait going airborne.
Growing up, we had taken turns being the star player for our teams. And when it came to Syracuse, he lit it up like no one else.
Gait fires, score!
Prolific passer.
And Paul behind the back in close to Gary, yes!
Superior athlete. Fierce competitor. The complete player.
Paul Gait shooting. He scores with 3 seconds left.
He taught us all, with no fear and a thirst for titles. Everyone knew we were changing the game. Not just Paul and I, but the entire team. But at the heart of it all was Paul. In '89, in what some say was the greatest game ever, Paul was the most outstanding player.
Paul Gait is having the game of his career.
3-time first-team All-American, 3-time champion.
The Gait era ends at Syracuse with a third straight national championship.
A member of every lacrosse National Hall of Fame.
Paul scores, and he has written himself into the record book.
So, when people ask, who are the greats? Who are the game changers? Who are the trailblazers? I look in the mirror and I see my brother Paul. The best player I ever knew, the best teammate, the best friend. I love you, brother. 19 is now where it belongs.
Congratulations on the jersey retirement. Well deserved, finally. What was going through your head?
You know, it was obviously a great moment to have a jersey hung up in the Great Carrier Dome. And, you know, a lot of people have come to me after and said it's about time, but what they didn't realize was that they just started hanging jerseys 2 years ago. They thought it had been 30 years, you know, in the waiting, and actually it was only, you know, 1 year since my brother, or 2 years, I guess, since my brother's jersey had been hung. So it wasn't that long of a wait.
During your speech, you mentioned your most memorable moment being the actual loss against Hopkins. When you were 42-1, the actual one loss against Hopkins?
Yeah, you know, to as a starter, lose one game by 1 goal, you know, that's something you don't forget. You know, we could have had an undefeated career as starters, and, you know, we had one, we stubbed our toe, I guess, during one game and lost, so that definitely was the most memorable.
It was like a 14-13 loss. It was 1989. Take us through what happened. I know it went right down to the wire.
Yeah, it was a back and forth game within 1 goal most of the game, and it was very similar to the championship game that year, actually. It was close, and you know, it kept going back and forth, and in the championship game we found ourselves up by a goal with 30 seconds to play, or no, it might have been less than that. I'm not sure the exact time, don't quote me. And we were able to hold off an attack from Hopkins to win the championship. Well, it was very similar, but in the opposite direction. The first game of the year, we were down by a goal with 30 seconds left, and we had the ball. And the coach decided to give the last shot to our freshman that had just come in. This is his first game, and hadn't scored a goal yet in college lacrosse, and he ended up getting the last shot of the game, and unfortunately it wasn't a great shot. It didn't,
wow.
I don't think it had a chance of going in from the time it left his stick, but you know, it would have been nice to have you know, Gary take that last shot, or someone who had just set a record the year before for having the most goals in a college season, you know. So that was our one loss, and you know, the coach made the call, and he's probably kicking himself for that now as we speak.
Well, what was your second most memorable moment?
Oh God, you know, probably it's not really a playing moment, but it would be the day I showed up on campus to start school, and there was 2 feet of snow on the ground. You know, that had to be the second most memorable. We had left Victoria, you know, got on the plane, got off the, you know, when we left it was 45 degrees, and you know, very temperate and mild. And when we got there, it was like in the middle of a snowstorm, minus whatever, and 2 feet of snow, and had no boots, no winter jacket, nothing.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So that was pretty memorable. As a Syracuse moment, not so much a lacrosse moment.
When you played in college, did you experience any resentment because you were from Canada and not from the United States?
No. Well, yes and no. It wasn't really resentment because we were from Canada. It was resentment because our style looked awkward. And when we first got there, people were concerned that we may not be capable of playing to their level, I guess. So some of my teammates expressed some concerns early. You know, like the first couple practices, like, these guys are on full scholarship? Really? That's hard to believe. They can barely catch and throw with their right hands.
Wow.
You know, stuff like that. So,
Oh, wow.
the pressure, we did not feel pressure of people coming to see us by any means. It was more the same pressure we felt our entire lives, and that is, you know, we want to win. And the pressure is on not losing, you know. If we can keep winning, people will come, and that's the way we felt. We didn't worry about the people, we worried about the win.
Is there a little bit more to it than just being naturally gifted?
Well, there's a lot to it. I mean, you know, meditation has a lot to do with it, you know, visualization and stuff like that. I mean, you have to, you know, you got to put your 10,000 hours in to be good at something, and it doesn't all have to be physical hours of catching and throwing and shooting. It can be done in your head as well, you know. So when you're laying in bed, or you're on a bus trip, or you're doing something that doesn't, where you have time to think, you can actually visualize what you should be practicing, and visualize making decisions on the field, making the right decision. Like, visualize two options, you know, option A, option B. An attackman open on the crease on the left, or you open for the shot, right? So, and then making the right decision, you know. Visualize a defender sliding to you, and then you obviously making that pass down to the attackman. So if you visualize that over and over and over, it's like practicing, because that decision will become instinctive. And that's what a lot of the great athletes do on their own, you know, outside of just practicing, say, shooting hoops or whatever. It's making the right decision during a game.
What's your advice to the high school athlete who would like to take it to the next level from high school to college?
Well, start, I mean, with YouTube and all the internet resources that are out there. Start looking up some of the greatest athletes in their sports and find out what makes them great. Find out what they do different, and you'll find out they all kind of do the same thing. You know, they're all very similar in the way they approach their sports, the way they approach practicing of their sports, and the way they think about winning and losing. They're all very similar. Well, I actually learned it as a kid from a Canadian Hall of Fame lacrosse player out of Canada. He actually taught us that, you know, when we were 12, to go out and watch these other players, watch what they do, you know, look at the decisions they make on the floor or the field, depending if it was field or box lacrosse, right? Exactly. And see, you know, and look what the decisions they make, and then think about that, how that applies to your game, and make similar decisions, the smart ones, the right decisions.
Who was your hero growing up?
You know, I'd have to say it was probably the coach I'm talking about, Ron McNeil. You know, he was a famous lacrosse player in my town when I was a young kid, and then when he retired from playing, he ended up coaching my U12 team for 2 years. So that was an exciting moment for our team, and we learned a lot. And he actually taught us how to win, and we won 3 national championships because of him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Next on Lacrosse Legends. You're watching Lacrosse Legends.
And change your fucking name. Work with coach. Get down to mad money makers. sex with I make moves from the North Taker. To instill fear, although the world may be down, it's still trapped in the square. Me born to try, some and some die by the knife. And so became a sprays and trump tight. From me to a show that would come right. If you take it sober at night, cause that's when the fruits come out. No doubt, is when I was showered with the knowledge of my trade to get paid. Still I make moves like a snake in the grass, round about. Kicking it down while you be asked out. Never passed out. And if I'm all in the jam, I blast my way. Red second of the militia, Big Shit, Freddie Fox, the militia.
Gait D2 series of heads. You must be excited about that.
Yeah, you know, I've spent 30 years trying to make better offensive sticks, and especially on the women's side of the game, we tried to make women's sticks act like a men's stick with success. You know, it just took 30 years. But now if you pick up a woman's stick, it's like throwing with, you know, my stick. It's very similar to the way it performs. It only made sense that now that we've kind of accomplished that goal is now go out there and make defensive sticks that help the defensive player become better.
Well, the first one I want to talk about is the D2C. First of all, I think the D in the D2 series stands for disrupt and dislodge. Because the D2C, that's the one that looks most
like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I want to tell you why I say that. The D2C looks more similar to the original D.
Right.
But the first thing I noticed was the can openers were a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But the thing that I saw that you had another set of can openers on the bottom side that when you poke check,
you got it.
Oh, I think that's better than the hook. Don't you? Well,
wait. I'm actually working on. I have one up on my computer now that I'm working on, which is the next evolution. So you'll see. There's more to come around the hooks and disruption and dislodgement. So yeah, more to come.
Yeah, because I see the defenders actually poke checking them more than I see. They do the hooking also, but the poke checking is. And I said that's a feature right there. I noticed that the top had a little slit in it.
Well, that doesn't really do anything. It's just aesthetics.
It's just aesthetics. Oh, okay.
So we have three models. You know, one's made for the transition player, so the D2 transition, and that one's more like an offensive shaped head, right? A little narrower, a little more accuracy, holds the ball better. So when you're going up the field, it's about holding the ball, not getting stripped, so that you can actually have a chance to take the shot. And then there's the D2 close. That's a wider stick. That's meant for the close D that sits back more and doesn't run up the field and doesn't take a lot of shots. His job is to intercept the pass and pick up ground balls. So that stick is specifically designed to assist in those two functions, you know, intercepting the pass and picking up ground balls. And then there's the ground ball stick, and that's for the winger. On the face-off, the D2 ground ball.
The D2 GB.
Yeah, GB, and that one's all about picking. The front of the scoop has got a slight tilt up, and so that when you lay your stick on the ground, the scoop lays perfectly flat with the turf, so it's easier to pick up the ground ball.
With the long pole too, it's like with that little feature, you don't need. It's not that awkward. Most you can do it with one hand now. You can literally pick it up.
Yeah, whatever angle is most comfortable is how we lined up the scoop to the turf. So whatever is most natural.
I also saw, getting back to the D2C, I saw ridges on the face. I'm assuming it's like when you see like receivers with the gloves, how it helps with like traction a little. Is that why it was? Well,
it's not actually traction. What it is that as you check and pull, it creates a vibration. The problem with getting the ball out of a stick is that the ball sits in a singular sweet spot in the offensive player's stick. And it's hard to get the ball moving. In the old days, if I hit the offensive player's stick, the ball would start to roll forward. And then as he brought it back, it would actually create more momentum on the ball. So as I checked down, the ball would start rolling, and as he pulled up, it would finish rolling out. And now everyone's got a singular sweet spot where if you check it down, it doesn't roll forward. And then as he pulls it back, there's no momentum on the ball, so it stays in the sweet spot. So these ridges are designed to dislodge the ball from the sweet spot so that when he moves the stick, you get movement on the ball because it's not sitting on the mesh 100% of the time. It's in the air for a portion of the time. You know, as those ridges hit, the ball actually, in slow motion, you can see the ball bouncing in the pocket. So that's what those are for. And it, you know, it's something that we tested on you know, the iPhone with the slow-mo feature to make sure it worked, and it does. So there's some videos out there of someone, you know, checking a stick, and you can see as you slide it down on the check, the ball bounces in the pocket.
This is amazing.
Therefore making it easier to dislodge.
Genius.
Well, good try.
Next on Lacrosse Legends. You're watching Lacrosse Legends.
When it's time to take a stand. Strategy, casualties, so everybody knows that I got flows, the holes. I had me trapped till I got so you big gaps, watch your back, Slenderman. I'm in face, remember it. Take it to the back, you should keep that that I meditate when you talk on my fully loaded. We be keeping it tight up in the street like before and in combat. Never stop. Just yes, you plenty of conflict. You and your fellas attempting to fail. Your family militia. That's why we formed a militia.
Your D2GB.
Okay.
It was a little bit narrower. Is that
yeah,
to set it up for the shot?
So once you get it, no, it's exactly, because that one's going to be a ground ball and go to net, or a ground ball and under pressure having to dish it off to your teammates. So you wanted to make sure that once you got the ball that you had a narrow area in the pocket so you could hold on to it. So that's what that's for.
It definitely levels the playing field. Can you use this in the box game?
Yeah, you can use it, and it's legal for all lacrosse at this point so far. You know.
Oh, okay. So
the original can opener's been out. It's been outlawed now in all of the leagues, the Canadian, the pro leagues, all of it. But all of the new ones are all legal in every league, so we're good to go.
All right, so the NCAA won't be any surprise phone calls from them.
So far, so good. I've got, like I said, I got 2 new ones in the works right now, so we'll see what they say when those come out.
Are you at liberty to talk about those? Right
No, not yet.
Okay, all right.
Not ready for those.
No problem.
Yeah, these ones are all meant to be stiff and rigid, being defense sticks. No one really wants a flimsy defensive stick, although, like I said, there's more to come, and there's still a few defenders who like the attack head. So we may have one coming out that'll be closer to a lightweight attack head with a super lightweight handle. So it would be more for, you know, a player who has wants to use those skills. Yeah, a lot depends on your play, how hard you hit. The harder you hit, the stronger the shaft needs to be. The more you like to stick check, say with less power and more finesse, the lighter the shaft can be. So naturally how I look at deep holes is weight, you know, and strength. So if you're a stick checker and less of the, you know, the pounding heavy check defenseman, then you can go with a lighter weight handle that will allow you to control the stick a little easier and make checks quicker. Whereas if you're a big heavy hitter, you're going to want a strong shaft and make sure it doesn't break. And you can use that power you're creating, the force and power that you create in your heavy check.
I see a lot of team colors for the heads. Is that something that the athlete takes care of, the local retailer takes care of, or is it
Well, usually the local retailer takes care of doing the custom colors and dyeing and that sort of thing. Because it's such a trendy thing, and by region, typically by team. Some teams like all white, some teams may want to dye it their team colors. You know, we leave that to the retailers to decide on whether or not they can handle decorating a lacrosse stick to their customers' needs.
Where could we go?
Oh, I mean, anywhere from Lacrosse Unlimited, Lax.com, Universal Lacrosse, Sports Stop, Cross Monkey, you know, all the major lacrosse retailers. Dick's Sporting Goods, of course, you know, they're the largest lacrosse retailer in the world, actually. I mean, they have over 600 lacrosse stores, or stores where you can buy lacrosse sticks, I should say.
Okay.
So, you know, they're one of our biggest customers, so it's good to have them on board because they are also far-reaching. You know, having the most stores in every state of the country helps a lot, so. Not really, because you know, I don't like to talk a lot about the future type stuff. That I like to keep in my head and reserve that for future conversations.
You spoke about children's sticks coming up and educate. Is that still in the works?
Oh, still in the works, and let's just say there's more to come. I'm hoping to have a couple big meetings at the end of the summer. Some of the board of directors of some of the pro leagues and stuff that are out there. Along with U.S. Lacrosse to help create something that will help grow the game. That's the idea. In fact, our women's line is 5 lacrosse sticks for 5 different styles of play and positions. So, I mean, they're all unique in their own way and they all perform in a different way. And that, you know, it's worked very well, exceptionally well in the women's game. And we're trying to bring a little bit more of that to the men's game. You know, right now, there's 1 million attack midi men's sticks out there, but no one says what kind of player it best suits. You kind of got to try every one to figure out which one suits you best. We want to help in that, help in choosing a stick by making sticks that perform in certain ways that will help your game. So that's what you can look for from us. I mean, whether it be a specialty position in facing off, or being a goalie, you know, or being a defender. But the last sticks we're going to work on are actually going to be attack midi.
So many,
you know, we're going to cover all the specialty positions first, and then attack the midi and attack positions after that.
A goalie stick in the works?
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, I started my first 2 years, I was a goalie. So I gotta make a goalie stick, yeah. You gotta make a goalie stick.
So yeah, I'm watching the game, I was like, these dudes, you got the women's stick, you got the women's uniform, you got the men's stick, you got men's protector, you got this, you got it. Gait Lacrosse is literally the undercurrent of the game of lacrosse.
How easy.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was like, there are a lot of haters out there, but I'm like, I'm rolling with these guys. More power.
Well, I appreciate that.
More power to you.
But there's a lot of great lacrosse people and designers and companies out there that have brought a lot to the sport, you know, before us, and they'll be around long after we're gone too.
Terrorist, here to bring trouble to phony and scenes. I move on, I just conquer. Solve another battle with ease. Cause I'm at my apex, another kilo. Milliliter, 1 kilo, second to none. Making MCs run, so don't try to step to me, cause I ain't the one. I believe rappers just like Tylenol.
Gary Gait
know it.
can carry it close to close in a situation like this. Gets pressure, deals to him, and scores by the brother Paul. Gary to Paul Gait.
What rap did to me to make me wanna create chaos and mayhem. Cold rock a party until the 8 a.m. I'll make a muscle, grab the mic and hustle. While you stand dazed and amazed, I'll bust a little rhyme with authority, superiority, and captivate the whole crowd's majority. The rhymes I use definitely amuse, better than Dynasty or Hill Street Blues. I'm sure to score and draw for more without a
What will he do?
I get
He
raw.
beats it peacefully as a goal line. Paul Gait, his third goal of the first quarter.
Rappers start severing, and in my lifetime, believe I've never been beaten or eaten and just taken out. You know, come to think about it, I keep them looking out and real nervous when I'm at your service. Give me that title, boy. You don't deserve this. I work like a slave to become a master. And when I say a rhyme, you know that it has to be perfectly fitted, cause I'm committed. The entertainer and trainer and Kane are getting with it. I go and flow and grow to let you know I damage you. I'm not an amateur, but a professional, unquestionable, without doubt, superb. So full of action, my name should be a verb. My voice will float on every note. When I clear my throat, that's all she wrote. The minute that the cane starts to go on, believe it's gonna be smooth sailing, so on. As I put other rappers out of their misery, get them in a battle and make them more history.
That's the Paul Gait behind the back and in.
As I sit back cooling, the bronze microphone. Just the child that can hold his own.
Gary Gait gets into brother Paul Gait. He has the defense out of position. He gets the shot. He ties the game up. Just the brute strength of Paul Gait against Pat Berwick. Gait would not let his feet go out from under him, and then he bounced.
Here's an experiment to begin with.
24/7 chilling,
There's Gary. Dumps it, and Gary. They set him up for something.
Just the usual.
How would you like your legacy to be remembered?
You know, really as an innovator, you know, both on the field and off the field. So that's kind of our goal, is to be unique, be different, bring stuff to the game that hopefully wasn't there when we started and is there after we're long gone.
Gait Lacrosse has outdone itself once again. More power to you. Thank you. Thank you for having Lacrosse Legends up here. It means a lot to us. You bring us into your world. Continued success, and I like to come back here another 6 months to see what else you got going on, man.
Yeah, we'll be launching in about 6 months.
All right.
Round ahead. You're right.
Yes, sir.
So good time to come.
Thank you very much for everything.
We'll Thank you.
All right.
This is Monsanto Muzak for Lacrosse Legends.
Thank you for everything you've done. Everything you've done for this game. You know, it's as a player, what he and his brother, shocked the world that you could be that slick and incredible with your stick, plus that fast and strong and powerful. I remember in 1990, my final game as a college player was here in the Gait's final home game in what was called the Carrier Dome then. About 31 seconds into the game, each had a goal. It was 2-0. Don Sturgeon called timeout. We couldn't hear Don and Hollow. It was so loud. And so but to really answer your question, just said it was an incredible speech. Your words are very generous, and you're so others focused. It's amazing. Someone who's had an incredible life, and then has something not incredible happen to him, but he's not living the life, so what was me. He's giving to others.
Hey, yo, this right here, man.
I couldn't tell at first when we fell in love, but I should've left alone like well enough of our relationship or whatever the hell it was. See, that's the irony, like the smell of blood.
Yeah, the rise and fall.
I made the DJ promise to never play this record again because
the set, they need me like where he go. The bat, he still off the easy though. The kid spit, breezy but easy no.
flow. I make it hard to read me, graffiti flow, east to west. The world wanna see me blow, syndicated like your favorite TV show. I give respect and get a check from CD Soul, the president, record exec from CEO. Rock still killing them, block still filling them, not still pilling them, hot still grilling them, real as them. Drop sell millions, episode here it come. Rock chillin', chop billin', spots still filling them. Poppy in Puerto Rico, UK's King Hero, the Bronx, I'm Carlito, the block, I'm Rock Ghetto, Jamaica, I'm Jock, and Rio know my MO. Japan, you Swatashi, Wildlock, Kemo.
I couldn't tell her first when we fell in love.